make sure the Streamlink is working. All right, guys, I did adjust the volume on the mic from pre-market, so hopefully it's a little bit better. Today's been all about this, guys. All about the sticky note. I know it's corny, but it has been. It's what today's been about. Discipline, making sure you don't overtrade. It's been the biggest thing, guys. I did take a loss on Google. I quickly want to go over kind of why I stopped out, etc. Guys, hourly closed below this level at the 324, 325 demand zone, guys. We did see that nice wick up this morning. Decent candle there, but really started to evaporate buying pressure these last 2 hours here, guys. And this candle closing below on the hourly there, that was kind of my stop point. And it's looked to be a really good decision because we've since faded below. I personally wasn't as interested short side because we only had a few dollars of range down towards low of the day. But definitely, like I said, guys, I thought it could have still ramped from this zone to the upside. But for me, it was just kind of a do not touch after stopping out. I took a 35% loss, guys. In my eyes, I probably could have minimized that maybe by 10% or so. But in reality, it's a healthy loss because I respected my risk. And it was an A-plus setup to me. Split week. It was the Monday of similar market action to that day. Amazon moved. A little bit heavier pressure in terms of China. Tesla kind of weighed down some things today. And then, like I said, guys, it just didn't really work. And that's where you got to be mature enough to just take your loss. So, and that's what today's about, especially in market action like this. I don't perform as well in this type of market action. I perform really well in the market action we had last week. I think that's probably true for a decent amount of people, but I know my strengths and weaknesses. So for me, it's all about just really sticking to those setups that I love and that fit the A-plus classification. So one setup I am still watching and in a decent majority of is TTD, guys. This is really impressive in terms of trend today. It's just consistently based to this 43.39 level, guys. I'm risking 42.77. I did scale 20% of this on the move to 44.30. Took some profits there at about 30% in gains. As far as the broader picture on this is a setup I am going to consider overnighting a little bit of. The reason being, guys, is I do like this big hourly support here on TTD. As long as we can close above that 42.77 level, this has been a pretty big base area. And I do think that this is a nice kind of exposure vehicle to Google, which I do think can still have a really big week. Like, I still think Google's going to have a great week. It's just not worth the risk to hold something overnight like that. However, this is smaller in size for me, and I've already taken some profits on it, and it's sitting at my average. I feel like I had a fantastic, almost perfect ad on this. So I am still holding TTD. I may overnight the rest of the remaining position here, but it's really the only thing that I'm looking at taking over. It always helps to be heavy cash for me. DWAC and PHUN are some of the things that are actually seeing some movement, guys. This has been a very range-bound market day. You can literally just look at SPY or QQQ and see that. I mean, we've been stuck in this zone almost all day outside of that Apple move middle of the day during lunch. Otherwise, we've just been stuck, right? And we're stuck between that pre-market low area, right, just under pre-market lows, and then obviously at the 383 zone of support, right? We did briefly try to break pre-market highs, but we could not do so at 387. So that was our one range break of the day to the upside, and it was mainly driven by the Apple move up. So this was all really nasty action for me. This is barely even worth trading. This is the 15-minute. I mean, you could have looked at the 5 and maybe played it in between this channel, but it's $1 of range, $1.50. Trying to scalp weeklies like that is just not even worth it to me, honestly. It's hard to alert things like that as well. So I'm mainly just observing right now. I don't want to force anything in this market. I know that, I want to respect my capital in this situation, right? That's, really what I'm focused on is, I took a loss on something I felt was an A+ setup, and did take a small win on TTD so far. That's a realized win right now. It is sitting just, I believe, a tick below or at my average. And obviously took a loss on the any weekend swing. I did sell most of those commons over this morning in pre-market. So I took a small loss, or medium-sized loss there, about a $2,200 loss there. So, not been the best day for me. But like I said, it's all about it could have been, so many people overtrade these days into an oblivion. So right now I'm focused on waiting if that setup is going to come in power hour. Fantastic. But NVIDIA is interesting here, guys. It did have the downgrade this morning, but we are looking at a move here towards this pre-market, towards this low of the day area, guys, off open at this 150 area. We saw a lot of buying pressure on these wicks here. So I am watching how this 15-minute candle is going to close here at 3:30 on NVIDIA. If we do close over that zone, this could be a nice upside mover here into the rest of power hour. So I am going to be watching this for the NVIDIA challenge. All right, guys, I am watching the 155C here on NVIDIA. We did close over that support area, and I'm looking for this 151.4 level to hold here, which it did on the 15-minute candle close. So I'm going to go ahead and take a 2-contract position on the NVIDIA challenge here at 260 on the 155 calls on the NVIDIA challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and tweet that again on the NVIDIA challenge, taking 2 contracts. At 260 average here on NVIDIA. The 155 call at 260. So just to show you guys why I'm taking that position, we had a 15-minute candle close at that low of the day area and then confirmed to the upside. So I am going to be looking for a push into the 9 EMA, which is at the 152, 152.19 area, guys, is what I'm going to be looking for here on NVIDIA. Nice move on AMC. Lane D-Book has been all over that. Great move so far on NVIDIA, guys. Contracts are green here, up 1%. Again, looking for a move into the 152.18 area. I'm going to keep my risk very tight here, guys. It's going to be a close under this 151.45 area. Contracts are in the green right now on NVIDIA by a little under 1%. So again, going to be targeting a test of this VWAP level. Again, a close under that level would be my risk here. Nice push here on NVIDIA, guys. Looking for a test of that VWAP 152.19 area. First target will be that 152 spot. When the market is like this, guys, I'm always more inclined to take gains earlier, even if it's 2, 3, 4% sometimes on the NVIDIA challenge, a small account. It's really about compounding small gains and limiting losses. But I do like this QQQ. Nice candle off of that low of the day area into support. Has been formed there, so I am going to be looking for a push-up on NVIDIA here as we head into the last 25 minutes of the trading day. Nice. NVIDIA did just take out a pretty thick wall on the level 2, guys. Tape looks pretty solid here on NVIDIA. Let's see if we can hold this 289 level on Qs. Nice. Contracts are at average here on NVIDIA, guys. Nice, guys. Cons are green here. We're trying to take out the high of that candle into that 151.64, 67 area, excuse me. Nice push. Again, targeting that 152 area, guys. 152 is first target. NVIDIA actually showing some nice strength here at this level compared to QQQ, guys. Again, I'm targeting this 152 area, which we are pushing towards now. Nice move, guys, on these contracts. Beautiful, guys. Locked in half that at 164 on NVIDIA, guys. You tweet that, Lance. Yep, NVIDIA 265. So I am out half NVIDIA 265, guys. Pushed into that 152 zone that I was looking for. I'd like to see a further push up here, so I am holding one contract, but wanted to take one off the top. Beautiful move on NVIDIA, guys. Great move here towards this 152 level. Awesome. Nice, guys. Nice move on NVIDIA. Coming into my target range here. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and lock in the win at 265. 266, excuse me. All out NVIDIA 266, guys. Took a small win on NVIDIA there. It is pushing up into my target. I don't love the price action on the Qs right now, but really nice move here on NVIDIA, guys. I'm going to go ahead and lock in the small win on the NVIDIA challenge. Beautiful. Pushing into my target now at the 252 zone. Or excuse me, the 152 zone. I don't know why I think NVIDIA is still trading in the 200s, but just going to take the small win there again, guys, on a day like today. I do want to go ahead and just lock it in on the NVIDIA challenge there. So going to take the small win, and I'm honestly pretty happy with it. Not like I'm out here shooting for 3 or 4% wins, but, you know, on a day like today, I just like to keep up that green streak. And on a small account, please understand what I'm trying to do here with the NVIDIA challenge, and I hope you guys kind of understand this, but my goal with this challenge is to just take even small wins just every day, right? Like taking small wins like this, 3, 4, 5, even 6%, just playing these like $1 to $1.50 zones on NVIDIA. That is the whole point of this challenge, is just taking, you know, 10, 15, 20, right? You know, my goal is 50 a day. But even on a day like today when range is tighter, I'll absolutely take a $10 or $15 win, right? Like on the challenge account, that's what I'm going for, right? And I'm trying to, that's the whole point of this, is to illustrate that you can consistently make a little bit of extra money every single day just by scalping in videos. So that's the whole point of the challenge, guys. Just remember that. It's always fun to see, you know, 10K days and, you know, 20K days, especially even on the challenge account. Like last week we had 2 different days, like over like 8,000 each on the 10K, but you know what? Some people need the small account challenge flow too, which is just taking small wins. That is literally about compounding those like 10, 15, 20, 30, $40 wins at a time. Yeah, nice move on NVIDIA, guys. That was a perfect entry, just to illustrate. Near perfect entry, guys. It did go 1% red there for a second, but again, coming into my target zone here at this 252 level, guys. And you guys can trade this with whatever size you want, you know. But again, these are my highest confidence plays. These are short scalps, usually less than 1 15-minute candle, and I would have taken all the rest of my gains right here as we come into this support. What was support here on NVIDIA, which was at the 152 level, I would have probably scaled out the last contract there had I not already sold it at 151.80. Just because we're coming into the end of the day, premiums can get a little bit wonky in that last 10 minutes. And locking in the win is never a bad thing, especially on a day like today when range is tighter, guys. You have to adjust expectations. That's a big one, right? Is adjusting expectations, and that's a really, really big thing. So. Yeah, Google held its low of the day. The only position that I'm going to have overnight, guys, is a small position in TTD. I already took some gains on that position, guys, but it's the only thing I'm going to hold overnight in the challenge account. Other than some of the any commons I still have. I kept like 20% or 10% of the any commons, but just the TTD calls are my overnight position. 120 contracts. See, and that's why I would have taken gains. You guys see how we touched that 152 target almost to a T there, guys, on that candle on NVIDIA, right? High was the 151.96. That's the exact level I wanted. And on a day like today, you have to think about it. Other traders also know the range is tight. So the ability to make money in the range within where you can make money, right, is just going to be naturally tighter, right? So I was only looking for a 60-cent move up there, but we got it. And that's where it comes down to locking in that gain, taking the win. I am reading this 100%. I would not swing Google. I'm not. That's why I exited. I'd rather be done with it and start the day tomorrow fresh. I don't like to bring today's problem into tomorrow. That's just my mindset. I am reading the live chat. I saw somebody say that. Thoughts on tomorrow? Continued chop into Wednesday? Probably. We had an amazing week last week, guys, so there is some adjustment of expectations and understanding that the market is likely going to be choppier. The reason I'm going to keep TTD is because I do like the strength it showed today, and I would like to have a little bit of exposure to the Google sector, right, the ad sector, in case Google does get that run up. I am thinking it can, right? But it's a smaller position than Google was, and it's a position I've already taken some profits on, so that's the difference for me. Nice job, Freddie. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I know a lot of people ended up actually getting better entries than me on Google. I know some didn't. It was the only trade I felt was an A-plus setup today. We had a bigger move down off open. I personally find those a little bit different because it's a little hard to play those initial like ramp down off open, guys, just to kind of show you what I'm talking about. Personally, like, I don't want to be calling plays on the first 15-minute candle, and that was literally all of the range today. Like, look at this. Okay, I'm going to clear my VWAP and 9 EMA indicators, but look at this. This was our range today, and I'll clear my levels for you too. Like, I'm not going to call an off open put trade, even though it broke pre-market low. Sure, if you want to trade that, that's fine. It's harder to take those with higher confidence because I like to play off the 15-minute, and I just know my personal strengths. So I chose to play Google because I felt it was an A-plus setup with the levels it was at coming into demand. I'll show you guys why. It had that major wick up on the hourly. Had some initially really nice ads here at the 23-22 area. And then we did get that move up, was a little bit green. And then, like I said, I was trying to let it work throughout the day, but it just kind of faded off and we saw sellers come in. So that is why I exited. It's one of those trades where it's a healthy loss, right? That's where you just understand that it's violated my risk, so I exited, right? That's the whole point. Tesla was super heavy today. I wanted to touch it. I didn't. It's felt super heavy to me. So personally, I'm not touching it. As far as the options go, I am still holding some commons at 759. I'm going to let the commons work for a little bit. Again, not as stressed as, options wise on that because you're not holding with like time against you. I'm willing to let the Tesla commons work a little bit. I think kind of initial reaction today, and then I can kind of reevaluate before CPI, but I do read the live chat, guys. Yep. But today, guys, it's a day about not trying to do too much. I want to be heavy cash. I'm going to be 95% cash overnight. With TTD obviously representing about $2,000, I'll be 95% cash overnight. In the 10K, obviously all cash in the NVIDIA challenge. I have some NE commons and TTD in my main, and then in my swing account, which is all commons. Obviously, I have right now Tilray and Tesla. So, again, guys, it's just a day where you just don't try to do too much. Wasn't a lot of range. I know everybody's all excited after last week and how awesome it was, but sometimes you just have to, again, sticky note, make the market prove it. I know you guys can't see because of the light, but got to make the market prove it. That's the big thing. And today, Google looked like it was proving it, but it really died out, guys. And again, that's where you just understand that the setup didn't validate, so you got to exit. Yep, absolutely. So tomorrow, really my plan is going to be similar to today. I will look for things that either have extreme relative strength or extreme relative weakness. I will look for, possible high confidence setups, but I'm really not going to force anything into the Fed decision. I'll probably be, 99% cash into CPI. One trade I was thinking about is if Tesla's consolidating in the 700 area, maybe look towards, I may take like a lotto Tesla call position, but like I said, guys, I don't have any major bias this week. I don't have like a specific sector or theme I'm looking to get exposure to, long or short. It's just wait for the market to present opportunities like it did last week. There's so many people in a rush, right? And really just have to wait. I thought we would get possibly a ramp to the upside today and then maybe a move like this tomorrow. I thought we'd see like Google and some of the other names see continuation today, and we didn't, right? And that's why I only took 2 trades today, or 3 now, talking about NVIDIA, right? So it's really, really about patience. Wait for the market to present opportunities like it did last week. And again, as far as CPI goes, guys, I think we saw core PCE come down, which is a big deal. That's actually the Fed's preferred data tool to gauge inflation and to gauge their hawkishness or dovishness, or their plan in terms of, you saw Fed fund futures now are implying a complete reversal of hiking in 2023 and actually rate cuts starting in 2023. And remember, the market is forward looking. So that CPI number, while it's going to be important, remember, guys, that oil and yields are telling you something. Oil is rolling over hard, right? You can see that looking at a chart like XOM, right? Or USO, and you look at the wider time frames, right? Like oil's down 20%, crude is rolled over hard. And you can see that same thing in a chart like USO, right? USO is rolled over, right? And you have to remember that, yields have pulled back tremendously. And I think that you're definitely seeing signs that we're near this peak inflation point, right? And that's why you saw growth do what it did last week. So, again, while I think the print may come in lower, I'm not going to take much exposure into it, just because I'd rather trade what comes after, right? And focus on what I'm good at and what has been working. Of course, guys. Yeah, and last CPI was actually really hot, right? And remember, CPI and a lot of these economic data is a lagging indicator. So oftentimes we're seeing it's kind of a little bit behind in that sense. But remember, oil's come down, gas prices have come down ever so slightly. In at least some parts of the country, I know here they're down like almost $1, like 70 cents. And so, like I said, guys, you really just have to pay attention to what the market is telling you. So while I personally do think we are going to see continuation in growth, we're seeing record short interest right now in a lot of the market. And so I really do think that, we are primed for a move to the upside. But, that's why you can't let bias affect you too heavily. And that's also why I like being heavy cash, because it prevents you from having too large of a bias on anything. But I do know where I'm going to gravitate to if, we do see a positive CPI number. Of course, guys. Thoughts on our Tilray swing? Guys, that's in the 1K challenge. It's for August. There's a lot of time left. And Tilray, if you look at Tilray, guys, somebody's asking about that. Tilray is sitting at its almost near its all-time low, right? We're talking about risk here. Back during COVID, Tilray saw the $2.47 mark. Basically, I'm going to be risking $3 here, right? Personally, I think that Tilray is going to provide a massive move to the upside soon, just because if you look at historically this chart, when it has been at this level, right, in the past, it has made really big moves to the upside. To me, we are due for a test of 431. And with peak inflation, this is a stock that hates rising rates, but it goes the same way. If we start to see a signal that rates are going to be lowering, right? Look at the last time Tilray hit the $2 spot, right after COVID gapped up to, the 11 area. Again, last time Tilray was in this long-term downtrend. It's due for a move to the upside, probably into this $5 to $6 area. There's a earnings run-up that's going to be involved because they have earnings at the end of the month, so I think that's going to provide a catalyst. I think the meme names are also ready to go. I think this is a great risk-to-reward chart, and that's why I bought August calls. So while it's down 20% today, our TDOC swing went 100%, and that was down, 35, 40% at one point. That's why I buy time here, though, right? Is, even though it's down 20%, it's nothing I'm too worried about, right? Even on a red day like this, it being down 20%, it's like, eh. So that's my update on the Tilray swing. Nothing that I really see super A+, guys. I am paying attention to the QQQ price action here. We are pushing in toward low of the day. Nice move up on TTD into the close, guys. I would love to see QQQ hold that low of the day, which it is. Look at that big wick up off low of the day. That's how you know today is range bound, guys. Look at that. It wicked down almost to the 288.22 level exactly, and then we get that move right back up, right? So this is not, I'm not going to feel bad about taking a single, call it, a single hurtful loss, I guess, or it's not a bad loss. It's a healthy loss, right? But, I thought the guidance on Google was good too. I'm not happy about taking a loss in terms of that, but the plan was solid. It's just buyers faded. Of course, yeah, of course. Yep, and I did take my loss on the any call position just because it closed on the daily below that level. So that was a riskier one. I went smaller on the options. I took a 6% loss on the commons. Nothing I'm going to cry about on the commons. But yeah. And after, multiple 1,000% wins on Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, just an absolutely insane week last week. 70% on my main account, doubled the challenge account. Perfect week on the NVIDIA challenge. I'll take a small loss day any day. Yeah, Lulu got beat up. I may pick up some shares today in the long term. Remember, guys, we do have earnings coming up this week as well. Airline Wednesday, Delta, and then we have banks on Friday. So, and we have TSM Thursday morning, and then we obviously have CPI and PPI Wednesday, Thursday. There's a lot of landmines this week, guys. So, for the time being, it's just heavy cash at night, and then attack the setups the next day, right? And focus on those A+ setups. And today, there wasn't a ton, so I know D-Book really likes AMC overnight. It looks really good if it can get over that 15 level. Definitely going to be on watch tomorrow if it gets over that 15 level. Really choppy day on Qs, guys. We haven't had a true range break. Couldn't even get to that pre-market low area, right? But at the same time, we've held our initial low of the days, right? Set in from 10:30, so. Do you anticipate lower guidance for earnings due to spiked DXY? Personally, I'm not expecting anything as drastic as I think a lot of people are expecting. I think there's a lot of stuff that's also priced in to an extent. Like, you've seen Apple get absolutely demolished over the last couple of weeks. I definitely think the market, large cap tech market, has room lower. I don't know what's going to cause that. Maybe it's an outlier event like Apple earnings aren't great, right? And it sees a, $15 move down or something like that. I just personally, I don't see the mass earnings revisions to the downside that I think a lot of people do. I think that this is a really, really unique time period where we're seeing, kind of demand slowed and the economy slowed, but we're seeing the labor force just be incredibly strong without even a hint of weakness. And so I think it's a really interesting and unique time period. AMC, nice move. Looking strong here. So what Freddie said is completely accurate. Lost 30% of my account on Google. Like I said, I can't personally, tell you what you should or should not do. But just to give you some reference, I was risking 9% of my account on Google. So on a $40,000 account, I was risking about $3,000. And like I said, so, a 2 or 3% loss on your account is a lot different than, don't come in here and I would not come into a room in full port. I'll put it that way. I just have commons on Tilray. All right, guys, we are closed. Again, slower day today. Some interesting setups for tomorrow, but again, I think we may kind of continue to chop into it. So for me, it's really going to be limited, really going to be even. Today was the one day I thought we might get some range. Tomorrow, I'm going to be even more selective as we have CPI on Wednesday morning. So, all right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it for the day. Long day. Obviously, Google didn't go the way I wanted, but like I said, it's on to the next. Showy Trades is going to have his earnings live stream preparation tonight. He'll be going over how he's going to be playing stuff after the open, going over some earnings and catalysts we have coming up, and that will be tonight at 7 p.m. So I will go ahead and put a tweet out and update about that. All right, guys. Peace.